Welcome back to my backyard. Today I am going to be mixing and pouring concrete where I had to cut the concrete out to lay my plumbing pipes inside the tiny house. And so let me just show you real quick. I've pretty much set up here, so let me show you everything I did and then we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, I've got a few tools laid out here, so let me just show you what I have. I'm just going to use this. This is normally used for like laying brick and stuff, but I'm going to use it just to kind of move the concrete around the small areas while I'm working over there in that tight little area where the plumbing is. I will use, let me grab it here, this 2x4, which stretches all the way across any point I need it to here. And this is just to move the concrete to initially level it out to the level of the rest of my concrete pad. Then, after I get all my concrete poured and leveled, I will come back with my wooden float and float the concrete. What that does is it helps sink the gravel bits that are inside the concrete down, pulls the finer stuff up to the top so I get a nice smooth surface. Then I'll come back and hit it with my metal float or trowel in order to, this is a finishing trowel, and this will give me that really sheen, nice, smooth finish on the top. And so this final piece, this final step has to actually be done over the course of several hours. You have to watch the concrete, because if it dries too quickly, you have to wet it back down because you want it to dry but not too fast. Today's a pretty mild day, plus I'm in the shade. I don't have direct sun on it. So I'm probably not going to have to worry about it drying too quickly, but I will have to come back periodically, hit it with the finishing float again 3 or 4 different times until it's got a certain level of hardness and it's dried out to a certain point, and then I can stop floating it. So then it's got to sit for at least 24 hours before I'll be able to actually walk on it, build on it, that sort of thing. So I can't put my other walls in until I have finished letting it harden to a certain point. I also have my wheelbarrow in here, so let me show you that. Over here I've got my wheelbarrow, and behind my wheelbarrow I've got my hoe, which I'll use for mixing the concrete, my shovel, which I'll use for applying the concrete where I need it in the hole, my rake, just in case when it's in the hole, if I need to move it around a little bit, this will be really helpful as well. I may just use my hoe for that though also. And then I have my hose here for just adding the water I need, water content I need into the wheelbarrow. Let me take you outside real quick and show you the concrete I had delivered earlier this week. Alright, so here's the concrete I had delivered. I didn't want to manhandle these bags from the store. I've got 27 bags of concrete here. Obviously I'm not going to need them all inside this space to fill back in this concrete in these holes, but I do need concrete for the post I'll need to set for the deck expansion that I'm doing. And so I thought, why not just go ahead and buy all the concrete now, and that way I have it here. Ended up, I underestimated how much concrete I would need for those posts. I figure I got 19 posts to set, and I bought 19 bags of concrete for that instead of planning for 2 bags per post, which is probably what I'll need. So I'm going to be short the amount of concrete I need anyways, but at least I have it here if I need it. So I'll put it in my garage after I finish this over here. We got a lot of rain this week. It rained heavy pretty much every day this last week, and so this is all covered in plastic. It should be fine, but once I start cutting this plastic back, I'm gonna have to put this concrete in a dry place. So I'll stack it in my garage after I get use everything I need inside this space to get poured. I'm guessing probably 7.5 bags is what I was estimating I would need for this space. So I've got 27 bags of concrete here that I ordered to cover this space, plus the 19 bags for the posts over there, 8 bags for in here, so 27 bags total. So let me go ahead and cut this plastic back and then we'll get started. think I'm going to mix 2 bags at a time. I think this wheelbarrow should handle it. Actually, let's do this. Here we go. This is High Strength Concrete Mix by Sakrete. It's a pre-mixed blend, so it already has the gravel, sand, and everything mixed into it. I just got to add water. Oh. 80-pound bags. They are heavy. One last tool I forgot to grab are my waders. I don't expect to be walking in the concrete, but some splatters on me or something I don't want on my tennis shoes. So I like to wear these rubber boots when I'm doing concrete work. Let me just slip these on real quick. Keeps it off my clothes. Keeps my feet dry. There we go. Alright, got the concrete mix in here, just got to add the water now. So I'm just trying to add, I'll add a little bit, mix it some, add some more water, mix it some more. Just creating pudding here. This is one of those things that, I guess if you've never done concrete work before, you could read the instructions and put the recommended quantities of water per however many bags of concrete you're mixing. The mixing machine works really well for this, but I don't mind doing it by hand. But after you've worked with concrete for a while, you kind of get an idea of the consistency you want. So you just add some water, mix it up a little, add some water, mix it up until you get that consistency you want. Cake batter, that's probably a good description of where you want it. About like cake batter. Most people baked a cake before. So you gotta get deep though. Just like when making a cake, you want that dry, you didn't quite mix well enough. And you get that with concrete too. So you gotta go deep. Make sure it's all mixed together good. That is just a little bit bright. A light coming in through the door there, so I'm gonna shut that door. Make sure all the dry spots on this side. I thought about renting a cement mixer, but I decided I just didn't need it. I don't have that much I'm doing here, so move the camera. We'll do our first pour. Okay, this is 8 bags of concrete. I figured 7.5 to do everything. I grossly underestimated it. I'm probably gonna need at least 4 more bags, maybe even 6. Trying to think of maybe 6 bags to finish this. So let's move on to the next set.
it's laid. I just got to come back periodically and float it to smooth it out, and then wait for it to harden. We'll go ahead and take my tools outside and clean them all off. Alright, just need to float it all now. We're doing finish work, so periodically, about once an hour or so, I need to float the concrete, which will give it eventually its smooth finish. I kept putting my knees on little gravel pieces over here earlier and it hurt, so I'm wearing my knee pads this time. Alright. Let that dry. A little more. And we'll float it again. That might be enough. I'll check again in a little bit and see. Might be all I do.